Hello, I'm Kate Wessinger, and I'm one of your early childhood behavior specialists at KBH and NHA. This is a message for all center management, and you may choose to share this message with your staff as well. Folks, it's getting real out there. COVID rates are increasing and winter is coming. Because we're thinking of you, this message will share a few conscious discipline tips to get your center through this time with resilience. First, let's get some context. Conscious discipline recognizes three brain states. The first is the survival brain state, which is represented by the brainstem. The second is the emotional brain state, which is represented by the limbic system. And the third is the executive state, which is represented by the frontal lobe or the neocortex. And so it folds over like this, and then you have yourself a little brain. Right now, we're going to focus on the survival and the emotional states because the pandemic is causing most people, adults and children, all over the world, to spend more time in their survival and emotional brain state. COVID is scary. It's life or death, unseen, and causing uncertainty. And our survival state, right here, is naturally triggered by perceived or real threat. And COVID is certainly that. COVID is disruptive to relationships and daily life. It means we're having to physical distance, quarantine, and not take part in group activities. And our emotional state is naturally triggered by the world not going our way. And COVID is certainly a time when the world isn't going our way. So when we put this context all together, it means you're stressed in management and home life. It means teaching staff are stressed in classrooms and home life. And it means the children are stressed in the classroom and their home lives too. The whole world is stressed right now. What can you do about it? Resiliency is all about accessing protective factors in times of scarcity or stress. Here are some conscious discipline tips to promote resiliency. Our survival state is soothed by establishing safety. Two things that promote feeling safe are routines and predictability. Adults need routines, just like children do. Most of us have let go of the routine of having staff meetings. Tip number one is to find a creative way to get back to holding some type of staff meeting. Virtually, by age group, as a large group, during the day, after hours, with memos, whatever's useful. Staff meetings keep the team feeling connected, informed, and able to address issues in a safe space. Humans also need predictability to feel safe. Most adults achieve predictability through lists and schedules and communication. Tip number two is to continue to use consistent staffing arrangements. Tip number three is to have your classroom by using like a visual schedule for the children, or have your center follow a helpful daily schedule, including times when staff can use the bathroom and anticipate breaks and arrivals and drop departures. Tip number four is to communicate about when these things change, because a lot of these things are changing right now. If people have a heads up and know what to expect, even if it's an unwelcome change, it helps us cope. Our emotional state is soothed by connecting with others and regulating upset feelings. Your number 5 tip for connection is to use the wish well structure for staff at the center and for children in classrooms. When people are out sick or quarantined, you simply move their picture to the inside. You fill your heart with care and well wishes and send that energy out to that person. Tip number 6 for regulation is to use star breathing. Practice with me now. Smile, take a deep breath, and exhale slower. Using facial muscles to smile activates feel-good hormones. Focusing on the exhale brings on calm. Doing 3 star breaths in a row activates our parasympathetic response to de-stress. 2 more breaths now. Tip number 7 is to harness that sense of composure you just established. If you're in management, stressed staff can borrow the sense of calm that your composure provides. If you're in the classroom, stressed children can borrow the sense of calm that your composure provides. Big humans and little humans respond to the co-regulation provided by being around someone who is composed and isn't joining in their upset feelings. If all of this sounds basic to you, it means you're probably in your executive thinking right now. Your executive state can reason, think of alternatives, make choices, use self-control, and problem solve. But because we know how the brain works, when we're in our emotional, like we flip our lids, right? We're in our emotional or survival states, we don't have access to these skills. So if all of this is sounding overwhelming, it means you're probably in your emotional brain state right now. Breathe with me. Conscious discipline says we often know better, but cannot do better unless we get to a higher state. So wherever you're at in this moment, in this week, in this season, consider these strategies. They're simple but effective for little and big people experiencing stress. Use what works for you. Reach out to Bev, Amanda, or myself when you have questions or want to talk more about these tips. Remember, you're doing everything you can to be safe. Keep breathing. We can handle this together.